In the relentless strategic arena of the National Football League, where franchises rise and fall on the strength of their long-term planning and their ability to manipulate every inch of the salary cap landscape, the Denver Broncos have begun to position themselves with an approach that feels both deliberate and quietly revolutionary. At the center of that effort stands General Manager George Paton, a figure who has endured criticism, praise, and constant evaluation, but who has now revealed one of the most intricate and forward-thinking roster-building methods in the league. To understand the significance of what Denver is doing requires stepping back and observing the broader competitive environment, one in which every team searches for even the smallest structural advantage. The Broncos have discovered theirs in the nuanced and often misunderstood realm of the option bonus. The NFL salary cap is a constantly shifting mechanism, a financial battlefield that punishes mistakes with long-term consequences and rewards ingenuity with sustained stability. For years, franchises have relied on restructures, void years, and incentive-laden agreements to navigate tight cap windows, but Paton has leaned heavily into a different tool, one that provides both flexibility and control. The option bonus functions as a lever within the contract, a decision point, allowing a team to determine whether a player's salary shall be treated as a prorated bonus stretched across several years, or absorbed fully within a single season as base compensation. This mechanism allows a team to toggle between short-term relief and long-term planning, depending on the broader cap environment and organizational priorities. Denver has recognized the power of this mechanism and has begun to incorporate it into their contracts at a rate matched by only one other team in the league, according to analyst Nick Corte of Over the Cap. The deliberate use of this structure becomes especially evident in the extension of center Luke Wattenberg, whose contract contains 7 distinct option bonuses, each tied to specific calendar checkpoints. This allows the Broncos to strategically decide year by year whether to open up additional cap room, maintain budgetary stability, or accept a larger immediate cap charge in exchange for cleaner years ahead. In practical terms, the Wattenberg deal acts as a financial toolkit for the front office, providing access to cap space without resorting to disruptive restructures or cap-damaging decisions. It reflects a shift in philosophy for the organization, one in which every contract is not merely an agreement, but a long-form strategic instrument designed to keep the roster intact while enabling meaningful upgrades. This approach matters profoundly because the Broncos are attempting to build a roster capable of contending in a conference dominated by heavyweight opponents. Without cap flexibility, a team becomes trapped by its own commitments, unable to add free agents, retain breakout performers, or pivot when roster weaknesses emerge. Paton's option bonus strategy counteracts that danger. It allows Denver to keep the players it has drafted and develop the players who fit the system, the culture, and the vision of the coaching staff, while still reserving the ability to pursue external additions each offseason. This is the delicate balance that separates sustained contenders from one-year wonders. It is not only about gathering talent, but about preserving the infrastructure that allows that talent to flourish. The Broncos' projected cap situation for the 2026 season provides a window into the long game Paton is playing. With more than $40 million in available space and 41 players already under contract, the team is positioned to operate aggressively, yet intelligently. As futures deals are signed and the roster expands toward the standard 51 contract count, the cap landscape will recalibrate. But the underlying truth remains stronger than ever. Denver enters the future with room to maneuver and room to evolve. That reality is the direct result of a front office that has refused to treat the cap as a restrictive wall and has instead embraced it as a design space, a structure that can be negotiated and shaped with careful foresight. This is not to say the Broncos have reached a state of perfection. Every team faces difficult decisions each offseason, and Denver is no different. There may be veteran releases, incentive conversions, or even targeted restructures when required. But the foundation is no longer built on reactions or emergency measures. It is built on a systematic approach to financial engineering. The option bonus technique eliminates the need to repeatedly approach players requesting contract rewrites, which can strain relationships and complicate future negotiations. It provides stability for both the organization and the athletes, allowing the front office to plan multiple years ahead with clarity rather than playing from behind. The significance of Paton's work becomes clearer when viewed against the backdrop of the NFL's competitive history. Many general managers have risen and fallen due to their inability to manage the salary cap through changing eras of roster cycles. Some have accumulated talent but failed to keep their core intact. Others have preserved a core but lacked the flexibility to address emerging weaknesses. Paton appears determined to avoid both extremes. Through the option bonus, he has built a model that allows Denver to hold its ground while still preparing for expansion. It is a model less flashy than a blockbuster trade or a marquee signing, but far more important to the long-term health of a franchise that has long sought stability. As the Broncos push forward, the central question becomes what shape the next phase of their rebuild and reemergence will take. How will this financial flexibility influence their decisions at quarterback, along the offensive line, or within a defense that has shown flashes of strength but still needs reinforcements to compete with the elite offenses of the conference? How will the option bonus enable opportunistic moves in free agency? And will it allow Denver to retain rising stars whose market value may spike in the coming seasons? These are the strategic considerations that define a modern competitive franchise, and for the first time in years, Denver appears equipped to navigate them with poise and purpose. Ultimately, the broader narrative is one of a front office refusing to settle. The Broncos are not merely assembling a team, they are engineering a structure, something designed to withstand contract cycles, injuries, roster attrition, and the shifting demands of the AFC landscape. For all the criticism George Paton has faced in previous years, his current work points toward a future defined by calculated investment, intelligent risk management, and a commitment to fostering continuity within the roster. As Denver positions itself for the next stage, the conversation around these decisions becomes increasingly vital. Fans, analysts, and insiders all share in the unfolding story of how this team is rebuilding its identity from the inside out. If you want to follow the evolution of this strategy, contribute your perspective, and stay connected to every development, then join the discussion, subscribe to the channel, and continue exploring the deeper layers of what shapes a playoff-caliber NFL franchise.